Joining me now, Senate Minority Whip John Thune of South Dakota, who is on anybody's very, very short list to be the Senate Majority Leader. Good to see you, sir. Thank you. Congratulations on the big win for Republicans last night. How does Donald Trump, how do you as Republicans and Republican leadership keep from what happened in 2017 happening in 2025?
Well, I think I think we all know a little bit better where we're headed, and at that time it was a bit of a surprise when President Trump won in the 2016 election. It took us a while to get his team set up in place and get on an issue agenda. There's been a ton of work done already to get ready for him, and we're going to hit the ground running. We're going to help him get his team in place quickly so that they can get to work right away. And then we, as a Republican majority in the Senate, are going to be working with him and hopefully with a Republican majority in the House to move an agenda that's good for this country, that deals with taxes and extending the 2017 tax law that we got enacted during President Trump's first term in office, and dealing with energy dominance, dealing with the high cost of regulations and what that does to cost us jobs in this country. Broken border, obviously, front and center. And then I would say national security is always an issue that'll be important, especially in the dangerous world in which we now live. And President Trump, I think, brings with him, Leland, obviously, a set of experience, background, and frankly, just a style that I think is going to be really helpful in dealing with a lot of those threats that we face around the world. Because one thing we know is Biden-Harris are projected weakness, and our enemies, our adversaries, prey on that. President Trump will fix that, and we intend, as a Republican majority in the Senate and hopefully in the House as well, to work with him on that issue set that I think is what the election is all about. Open borders, high prices. I mean, I think those are the issues that people voted on.
We'll get to open borders in a minute. You said his team, and that means advice and consent of the Senate for his cabinet. Who would you like to see sec state, sec death, and are there any guardrails that Republicans should put on, shall we say, some unusual people that Donald Trump has at times surrounded himself with?
Well, I mean, I'm not going to prepared to give him any advice on who to put into the cabinet, but we assume he's going to select qualified people. And my assumption is, in a key position like the Department of Homeland Security, that secretary who oversees the southern border is going to be somebody with experience and know-how and background that they can bring to the job so that we can get operational control of the southern border. I think more than anything else right now, we want to make sure that, particularly in those top 15 positions, which all require a lengthy process of Senate confirmation, then there are some other cabinet positions that don't require as long, but we've got to take the time to get those across the Senate floor, get them installed in their position so they can begin to implement his agenda. And we'll have those conversations with him and his team. We already have had some, and I expect that they're going to send up some very qualified individuals to man each of those key posts that are going to be so essential to him accomplishing his objectives.
You think about foreign policy, the commander-in-chief can make an awful lot of changes pretty quickly, whether it be about Ukraine, whether it be about Iran. We've already seen some indications that Iranian militias are backing down around the Middle East. No big surprise. But when it comes to the border, there's a lot President Trump can do as president day one with executive orders. But if you really want to solve the immigration crisis, if you want to build a big wall, you want to have change the laws about asylum, change the laws of how the southern border is dealt with, unless you want to break the filibuster, it's going to require some kind of compromise with Democrats on issues. What's the compromise? Is it that you're willing to provide a pathway to citizenship for dreamers, for kids who were brought here illegally? Is there anything that the mandate will allow you all to compromise on?
Well, and I think that's going to be largely a function of what the president and his team are willing to put forward. Now, first and foremost, I think there are a lot of things he can do by executive action. Clearly, President Biden reversed 94 Trump administration executive orders when it came to the border when they took office. So you can reverse that. Now, some of it probably goes to court and gets litigated, but figuring out a way to reinstate remain in Mexico, which is something that he worked with the Mexican government on when he was in office, doing away with catch and release. I mean, building building the wall. Fixing the asylum process does take some legislative action, and we want to be there to support what those things that the president wants to get done. But
Thanks for watching. Go to joinnn.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.